Sorry about that. You want to do the intros again there, T. Marie?
Sure, that is no problem at all. Again, thanks for watching us. You are here for AIGA's Detroit's Winter Wellness um, panel. My name is TaQuinda, or better known as T. Marie, and I will be your host today. We're excited to be able to talk to some amazing people about winter wellness as we enter into 2021. We want to make sure that you are taking your health very seriously. And if you have not, gone ahead and make sure that you hit the share button so that individuals can know exactly what's going on. They can get in on this good conversation. And if you're watching through Facebook, go ahead and comment in the comment section with any questions that you may have. They'll get them over to us. And if you are with us during this webinar through Zoom, go ahead and look at the bottom of your Zoom where there's the Q&A and you can submit your questions there. So without further ado, we're just going to go on ahead and jump right on in and introduce Amber Lewis, where you can find her on social at social in the city. I love me some Amber. I'm gonna just go into that. Like, I probably like girl stalked you before before we actually physically met at an event, but she is simply amazing. She's a radiating socialite, a digital powerhouse, creative director, and artist whose unparalleled nature and social media has elevated the essence and true narrative of the city of Detroit. And she recently just made a big move, so we want to congratulate her on that. So without further ado, let's give it up for Amber.
Yay! Thank you so much, and thank you for the intro. I'm happy to be here.
We're excited to have you. We are excited to have you. That sun is coming right on in, girlfriend.
Listen, I have to go put some sunscreen on before we started because I said you're not gonna catch me slipping.
That's right. Well, our next individual that we are going to introduce today is entrepreneur, gym owner, and national TV personality, my good friend Armond Rashad. And I'm a little biased because I love me some Armond, just put it that way. So,
oh my God, you're the best. You're the best. So good to see everybody on here and all the smiling faces. It's
we're excited to have you, Armond. Like, Armond is about to get us right when we're talking about wellness. Just to give you guys a little information about Armond. Since 2012, Armond has been a staple in Metro Detroit fitness, especially when it comes to the fitness community here in the D. He's a former Wayne State football player who has transitioned his passion into health and wellness in several businesses born and raised in Inkster. He is a member of Kappa Alpha Psi. Also, he's the co-founder of Run This Town fitness program. So if you've been around since 2012 in the Metro Detroit area, you know what Run This Town is, where the chapters have expanded throughout not just the city of Detroit, but also Chicago, Ann Arbor, Kalamazoo, as well as the campuses of U of M and Eastern Michigan University. Go Eagles. He moved to LA in 2016, where he was a cast member of Oxygen's reality TV show, Last Squad Standing. And you can catch the reruns. They are still available. And he is also the owner of Jabs Gym Eastern Market, where in that same year has grown tremendously when it comes to fitness. So without further ado, my boy, y'all new friend, Armond Rashad.
Yay! It's so exciting to see all of you guys, at least virtually and hopefully soon in person.
Awesome. And then we have Q. Listen, we in the kitchen with my good friend Q, okay? Q Broden is in the kitchen, Detroit's only demonstration kitchen and culinary shared space, serving as a cafe by day and night space by night, where Q delivers dishes of zestful and earth-conscious substance in a way that mindfully emerges vegan and meat eaters into bliss. Listen, I look, Q and Q's food I'm excited to be, on this panel with Q because let me tell you, I have vegan tendencies and Q knows this. Like I have vegan tendencies because I can't have egg or beef. So I, go back and forth and Q is my saving grace, y'all. So Cooking with Q is a helpful haven urging people to eat to live. And it is the home of nutrition, allowing all to discover life's greatest gifts through the thought-provoking engagement, empowerment, elevation of everyday palace. Y'all, meet my friend Q.
We eat really good, and it's very good.
Listen, I think I had like some vegan mac and cheese from you.
Yeah.
Jesus be offense, y'all. It was great. So we're excited to talk about wellness and nutrition with our good friend Q today. And last but not least, we're going to give it up for Reza. Reza he feels that his purpose is being fulfilled by working with cars. And in 2014, he moved to Detroit, went to grad school, and is an engineer. Ask him about how much weight he's lost and how. So we're going to talk a little bit about that too. So give it up for our panelists today.
Yay.
Hey.
Thank you, guys.
So we're going to go through a quick round, a lightning round to kick off our conversation. And we're just going to do round robin. So we'll go on ahead and we'll start. In my screen, I see Amber first. So we'll go Amber, Q, Reza, and then knock it off with Armond. All right, y'all ready?
Let's go.
Ready.
Here we go. All right, pets, cat or dog?
Cat.
Dog. Reza.
Reza? Cat or dog?
Dog.
Armond?
Dog.
All right. Olive oil
Dog.
or coconut oil?
For what use?
That's good. That is good. Well, your preference?
Probably olive.
Okay.
I'm gonna say coconut.
Oh, nice. Cute. Okay. Reza?
Yeah, coconut for me.
All right. Armond?
Coconut.
Okay. Now, here we go. Crisco or bacon grease?
Child.
Neither.
That's what I'm talking about. Neither. We all saying neither? Okay. Water or Gatorade?
Water.
Water.
Oh, water for sure.
All right.
Gatorade.
Gatorade.
I love Gatorade. I know it's sugary, but it go ahead and fills you up when you feel a little depleted.
Listen. All right. Here we go. Run in the winter or run in the rain?
Run to my bed and take a nap because neither one.
I love it.
I'm gonna say winter.
Ooh, okay. Reza?
No, I don't want to get wet for sure.
Okay.
It's
So we
too
say
good.
none of them, huh?
That's what I hear.
Armond?
I'll do a cold weather run before anything.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Favorite Detroit restaurant?
The block.
You stole mine.
The kitchen by Cooking with Q.
Reza?
I think the name is Sheldon Standard or Sheldon Standard.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I like that.
All right, cool. Favorite food? Let's go.
Oh, pizza. Oh, favorite food there?
No, just favorite food, period. Favorite food or
pizza.
meal?
Pizza. That's the
Oh.
only thing that can, destroy me.
I would have to say a roasted kale salad.
Nice.
I'm gonna
Armand?
say
I hate to say this, my cheat meal is calamari. Calamari, baby. That's my thing.
Okay.
Love a good calamari.
Q?
Let me get a vegan lasagna. That's fire.
The
Listen.
vegan lasagna is so fire, man.
It's so
I haven't
fire.
had that yet, so I need to come right on over.
So
I need to
fire.
come right on over. Okay. See, I'm happy inside, but then I think that Armand's gonna tell me that I can't have it. So maybe I should just be quiet.
A lot of carbs, but it's all good.
All right, favorite drink, non-alcoholic or alcoholic, doesn't matter.
I like bourbon, so a Kentucky Mule.
Nice.
Ooh.
Okay, fancy.
Right. Go ahead, Q.
I like sparkling water.
Okay.
Sparkling water, so I just like water.
Nice. Reza?
So I do love vodka with spiciness and cucumber-ish type of, drinks.
Mm,
Yeah, refreshing and spicy, yeah.
okay.
And it's still low
Fancy.
calories, so.
Armand?
Yeah, I'm a huge bourbon drinker. Basil Hayden. I love Angel's Envy, Makers, Bullet, bourbon, Woodford Reserve, and
I was about to say no Woodford.
I can
You knew
live.
that was gonna come up.
Oh, that was coming. I can live in Kentucky. I will live in Kentucky just for the bourbon.
All right. Favorite vegetable or fruit?
Ew.
Oh, I'm killing carrots all day.
Okay.
Plum. I love plums.
Nice.
Yeah.
I only like them when they're right. They got to be right in order for
Oh,
me.
I love the fact that outside is sour and inside is kind of sweet. So
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Come on, Ryan.
Okay.
My favorite has to be the pineapple.
Yeah.
I wish.
How about on the pizza though?
That's a whole conversation.
Right.
That's
Like,
a whole conversation.
All right. And favorite workout outfit or brand?
W by Crystal White.
Nice.
I didn't get to try that yet, but I'm gonna.
I haven't either.
I have no favorite. As long as it's like sweatpants or leggings, I really don't care. I'm not a brand whore.
All right, Reza.
Yeah, I've never used the aloe stuff. I recently used them, and there seems pretty decent. You can find like pretty good deals on them at the other places too. So yeah, I'm gonna call aloe.
Nice.
Over
I'm not with it.
Armand.
Yeah, of course, I'm. I think it's no secret. I'm team Lululemon, so I'm an ambassador for
Very
them.
much
So
so.
Lululemon,
Okay, ambassador.
socks and everything, socks, underwear, legging,
Everything.
jogger, everything's Lulu. Zip. This is everything's Lulu. So.
All right, good deal. So that concludes the first round of our lightning round, kicking off our conversation. So we're just gonna go ahead and get started, everyone. So as we know, like 2020 has literally thrown a whole lot of loops and everything, and folks have gained the quarantine 5, 10, 15, 20, 30. And yeah, it has mentally been in different places, and so it's really important that we take care of our health and our wellness during this time. So I want to kick this conversation off by talking about, like, when was your turning point? Because right now, like, this pandemic is a lot of people's turning point. It's making them come to realization with themselves, right? So let's talk a little bit about that. Like, what was your turning point or your pivot when it came to wellness? Like, what made you change? Let's share your stories in at least about 2 minutes.
All right. For me, it was actually the week of my birthday, which my birthday is March 30th. And okay, Aries again. Hello. And I was just super stressed out from work. Like, we pivoted to, well, I was like one of the first people who went to work from home when, they started talking about it, because I had been seeing the cardiologist, and like all my tests came back fine, but I was still having tightness, and it was stress. Like, I was very stressed out from my job, and, I had an anxiety attack, and I went to see the cardiologist the next day, and he's just like, let me know if you need anything. And I'm like, I need time off work. Mm-hmm. So he wrote me a note to be off work until COVID passes. And I was like,
that part.
Right.
And it was the same day as the CARES Act passed. So it was just like that divine alignment, like take a break, girl. So I stopped working across the board. I stopped doing work with the city, with Bumble, with Social in the City, with the Playlist Princess. I was really just in a state of being and like betterment, you know, and stillness, which is something that I didn't know, you know, being a woman of many wigs and doing all the things. So for me, that was kind of a turning point, and it didn't get easier. Like it was very hard to not do a thing because my whole life I've been programmed to do everything. But I had to take that time. And I mean, you know, I think a lot of people went through a mode where it was like, I'm crying every day, you know, from being at home in the pandemic, having family members who are sick, to, you know, social and racial justice, to dealing with your own things. Like it was just a lot going on. So I'm very grateful to have had that time, which is also part of the reason why I'm here in New Orleans now. So, yeah.
Good
So,
deal. So, Q, tell us a little bit about like you and like your the pivot point for you and what
so for us, I'm gonna be perfectly honest. Like when you're an entrepreneur, you don't have a choice because like there's no check that comes every 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you need to figure it out, get it how you live it. And for us, at the beginning of the pandemic, there were two things that happened. Number one, you get a lot of people who if people can't come into your restaurant, because we were restaurant, that was where our main bread and butter came from. Luckily, God had already had me doing meal prep for people, but the people that we work with, we have the same mission. So the mission doesn't change just because outside changes or we get shut down. If the mission is to teach people how to eat to live, I have to do that regardless. And it's not just for meat eaters or vegans, it's for everybody because everybody needs to know how to eat better. And that was my focus. So you have to figure that out. And then at the same time, at the beginning of the pandemic, my dad was the first person probably I knew who got COVID. And so imagine you have to work and he's 87 years old and he cannot walk anymore. He was in the hospital for a month and a half. We couldn't see him. So for me, I'm like, I have 13 team members. I need to figure out how to keep my team members fed, number one. And number two, I have to make sure that I keep my dad healthy because he wasn't eating. So for me, we never shut down. We just started doing carry out. We just started making sure our food was more readily available. We started working with food pantries to make sure that families who people were losing their jobs and they didn't have money to buy groceries. We wanted to make sure we kept the food going for them. So we teamed up with different restaurants to do that. We did a food pantry for like 90 days. And then my history is like doing mortgages. So I know what cold calling is like. So for me, if I can't get the food to people coming inside, I have to find a way to get it to people. So I was calling the health department, calling hospitals, the places that I knew that they were working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. How are they getting food? Like people are donating food, but they're donating donuts, they're donating pizza. Like if these are the people who are helping people stay alive, like I need to make sure that they're getting healthy food. So, and we did that. We had people like, hey Q, you have this thing where you can feed a first responder. So they would pay us to find a way to feed first responders. And we did like 80 a day. But that's how we kept ourselves alive, sane, and kept my peace. And I still had to figure out how to like I call it a D&D day. I always have one day a week where it's like, do not disturb. You are no good for anybody if you are completely depleted. So even in that sense of like stress and wanting to keep your family fed and your teammates fed and your dad in the hospital, you just go. You don't really get a chance to stop.
Right. So I want to like switch it over to, Armond, and even talking about that, like both of you guys, majority of folks here are entrepreneurs. I was a full-time entrepreneur, so I get how it is as far as like wellness is concerned, and specifically dealing with a pandemic. Like, prior to the recession, I was an entrepreneur, so I understand like how that is as far as trying to maintain not just your livelihood, but then also, of course, like your wellness. So Armond, talk to us a little bit about like the turning point for you.
I think I was very active all the way through, being about 22 years old, where I was playing football at Wayne State, but I was active for the purpose of playing sports. I think there's a whole nother realization that we all come to as adults, where we realize like, man, I'm not young and my genetics aren't helping me anymore, right? Or youth is not on my side like it was when you're 15 or 16 or 20. And what I realized is looking at my family history, my grandfather, who's super close to me, struggled with diabetes, and somehow I come along and I just begin reading and learning a lot about diabetes. And I realized that it wasn't that there was a certain type of diabetes that wasn't you didn't have to have it, right? It wasn't like you just have to have diabetes. And I realized that through healthy eating and an active lifestyle and nutrition, all these different things, you could mitigate the chances of getting diabetes. And I used to hear a line, people say, well, diabetes just runs in my family, right? Diabetes runs in my family.
No.
And, the rebuttal to that was, no, the fact that no one runs in your family is the reason why diabetes runs in your family. I chose
Amen.
Right.
Amen.
I chose not to accept that. And I think my rebellion against unhealthy eating in my grandfather's diabetes was to start running this town and to say, we're going to make working out so cool for everybody that we're going to essentially mitigate families that have to go through what I went through with my grandfather, watch my grandfather, go through the whole struggle with diabetes. So that was just like a rude awakening for me. And that just really changed my whole trajectory in life about what my calling was.
That's good. And Reza, so I know you've lost a lot of weight. So talk to us a little bit about like your experience and what was the turning point for you as far as wellness in your life?
Sure. So you're not specifically asking about the COVID time, right? Because
you can hit up both because we're talking about both here. So we're talking about the COVID time.
Yeah,
we're talking about in life in general. Like I know that prime example, like with me, like I've been on this journey for a while, and Armand's been on this journey with me. But I took another turn. Like I took the first turn and like coming to realization that you need to get your life right. And then I took another turn when COVID hit and I just went straight in, right? So I think we all kind of have moments of turning points as far as wellness is concerned. I believe that a person can have multiple turning points when it comes to this because it's not just a sprint, it's a journey. So go ahead.
For sure. My journey started back in 2017 January. So what I hit in 2016 October 29th, I hit 30. Mm-hmm. So that was a big day for me. And it took me like a couple months. And FYI, I was 310 pounds back then.
Oh wow!
No way.
Yeah.
No way.
Oh
yes.
Okay.
Then in January 2017, for the New Year resolution and stuff, I was like, there was a lot of things happening in 2017. We had a new president, a lot of things, a lot of like rush of like emotions. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, I need to put these emotions somewhere, and you live once. That you're not going to get chance twice. So I already lost my whole best, time of my life during 20s being over 300 pounds. And that was the last chance for me. So, to enjoy my life. And I started the journey. And by today, I am 172 pounds, which is probably around 140 pounds, weight.
That's
so,
awesome.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you. It was quite a challenge. Because if you want to get yourself in discipline, the first period of the time of weight reduction is very critical to keep yourself focused and on discipline. In first 7 months, it was not that healthy way because there was a lot of like motivation and a lot of momentum by that. So in first 7 months, I lost 70 pounds. Mm-hmm. Then I realized that I need to adjust it because my hair is still falling, all this stuff. So we can definitely talk further about how the process was, but just get on the proper diet and working out, increasing the activity. But when COVID hits, that was very like challenging because I'm an engineer. I do like office work. So mm-hmm. I was already reduced the amount of the activity by just sitting home and working from home. And it was really, really like stressful for me because it was deviating me from my goals. And when COVID hits, I was like working out, like running. It was like very like a stressful to keep myself on board. And the gym got closed, all those stuff. It was a very challenging 3-4 months for sure. But the only thing that I was blessed that keep myself that God gave me that power to keep myself focused, because the mind focus is really, really important to keep your body, physical body, on shape and healthy. I mean, it doesn't matter what shape it is, you just keep it healthy. Whatever you feel healthy in your skin, that's important. That's a confidence that gives you. So yeah, it was a very tough 4 month, and it was very challenging. And that at the end of that 4 month, I traveled to California to my sister. I stayed there for like 1.5 months and almost 2 months, which kind of like regenerate my normal and getting back to normal feeling. So I think everyone has to use their tools, to keep themselves sane, keep the sanity going. That was for me. And coming back, and the favorite season fall happening in Michigan, it was pretty good, and so far so good, and I'm gonna keep it strong. So
Love it. So I want to talk a little bit more about that, right? Like we talked about the fact that you said like you had to make some readjustments when it came to like
exactly.
the pandemic, and then knowing like honestly what you can handle yourself. Like prime example is like for the change, of course, like I could not get to Edge, I couldn't get to Jabs,
Anywhere.
like I couldn't get anywhere. And that was hard for me. Like it was really excuse me, it was really hard for me. So I and Armand knows this, like I literally was on the hunt for a boxing bag. So I took my little buddy and was like, you know what, I'm about to buy this boxing bag. And I found one at Dunham's and pulled it into my little 5-foot self, pulled it right on into my basement and like went in and did that and decided like, okay, bet I'm gonna do step aerobics. So I do extreme hip hop with Phil every day, like at about 1 and 2 o'clock or whatever. Like that's like my regimen. And then I even put in my schedule, because I work for the university. So one of the things I do is I put private time. So folks know in my office, don't contact T between 1 and 2:30. Like do not do it, because that's her time. And everybody knows that. My phone don't go off that time. Like clients don't call at that time. Like they know exactly what's going on for T Marie. And that was a change that I personally made when it came to my wellness, and picking up those type of habits. So let's talk a little bit about that and like how we can talk a little bit about how you changed it up as far as for your wellness. I know that Amber talked about she made adjustments. So she got on leave and had to, do what she needed to do concerning that. So let's talk a little bit more about the adjustments that need to be made during the season that we're in, because we're not out of it. Let's just keep it 100. Like we're not out of it at all. So there's steady changes that need to be made in order to ensure that we're walking in the health that we're called to walk in. So I'm going to start with Amber and then we'll go to Armand.
For me, one of the biggest changes that I had to do was like in my mindset, which was giving myself grace.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think a lot of times when we get into this mode where it's like, I can't go to the gym or I can't do X, Y, and Z, it becomes like this stressful panic of, well, what can I do? How can I do this? I need to do this. And it's like, you might not need that physical, piece of it. You might need something else. And just like really honoring what I needed at that time and getting in tune with myself. So like one day I might be doing a training with Meg and she'll pull up to the house. One day I might be doing a restorative flow with Adria. One day I might just be sitting on the couch because I need rest. Like that was kind of more so what my change looks like, is just like really listening and giving myself what I needed versus being in a constant state of what I'm obligated or I feel like I should be doing, because I've always done it this way. So that it started with the mind and then it kind of just flowed from there.
That's good. I love the fact that you said giving yourself grace. And I don't think like enough that we do that enough.
Girl.
when it comes to all of that. So, Armand, how do you feel concerning that? You're on mute.
I'm sorry about that. Yeah, I think the pandemic was an opportunity for me since I'm, a person that I go, right? Like I just love to hustle, and my whole mantra is, most dedicated, most committed. And I think the pandemic was an opportunity to sit down, as my grandma would call it, right? And sometimes you sit down. So, kind of coining what Q called a D&D day. I realized that Sunday is my day, because the one thing I used to do was get up and rush and go to church, right? And then you go to church, and then afterwards you got fellowship, and you got this, you got that. And Sundays were still maybe not focused on
Busy.
we're very busy. And now what I do is I still wake up early on Sundays, but I literally just get back in bed. I'll get up and have breakfast, whatever, and I purposely get back in bed. And one thing that I've always considered to be very lazy is to watch TV from bed. But now I do that, right? To force me to sit in bed and watch football, right? I watch a couple games, and then what I've learned is I'll find out that I'm tired still, right? Like right around 11 a.m., I'll get up early, but around 11 a.m., I'll get sleepy again. I'll take naps. And I've always been a person where I've listened to my grandfather, who's old school, and said, you got to work and don't be lazy and all these different things. So I never used to nap. I never used to take naps. And now I've learned to take naps. And I know that sounds super simple for people, but like, man, for me, it was hard to take a nap because I got, 2 cell phones going off. I got a call, I got this, and it's just, so interesting to and people around me. It's so interesting when they say, well, I'm so proud of you for taking time to sleep, which, for someone like me who wants to be a hard worker, like sleep is like no sleep, sleep is for the poor and all this stuff. I mean, you hear this stuff that can be very toxic when it comes to taking care of yourself. And
that word right there, toxic. Yeah. Come on.
Be very toxic, so for me, it just gave me an opportunity to like sit down, take a nap. I mean, get a massage, get a pedicure, like, these things I never cared about, right? And it's been really, really, really helpful to me.
That's dope.
Yes. Naps are of the Lord. At least I feel like
I'm taking a nap after.
Like relaxation time. Yes, it's so it. Q, go ahead.
My brain is always like, I love my D&D days, but sometimes even when I'm trying, because I'm a mother, I'm a wife, I have 3 children, 20, 18, and like 13. He's about to roll over 13.
Wait. Did you just
in the
say
name
20?
of Jesus, honey child, in the name of Jesus.
You have a 20-year-old?
She has a 20-year-old.
If y'all ever came to the kitchen, she runs the front. You'll see her in the front. My son will be in the back. And the baby comes and works with me on Saturdays and Sundays sometimes. Like I have 3 children, and
wow.
I'm always going. And sometimes my D&D days are like, I tell everybody, like, I'm no longer responsible for you. You're responsible for yourself. Don't call me unless the house is on fire or somebody passed away. Outside of that, do not call me. You can survive, right? And then that's a very hard thing because I'm very like involved with everybody, and I had to learn how to step away. And like I've gotten back to like disappearing. Like sometimes I'll disappear off the face of the earth for a week, and they'll be like, Mom is in the woods. I'll go camping. I've literally been looking, where can I go to camp? Because I like camping. I like to be in a tent. There's no electronics, 2 phones, computers everywhere. I just want nothing but peace so I can have a conversation with me and God, know what my next step is. And I think that's what people need to focus on doing. You have to start being proactive instead of reactive. Like, don't react to everything, because people will push their agendas on you because everybody has an agenda. And the point about it for me is like, you have to respect my boundary and respect that my time is just as important as yours. And if I need to be quiet so I can figure out what's really going on in my world, because there's a lot going on. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I have my kids, my team members are my kids. I want to make sure everybody eats. And that becomes like very heavily weighed on you when you're like, I have 13 team members. How am I going to make them be able to eat through the spring, when the restaurants are shut down? But I understand why we're shut down. But sometimes you just have to find your peace. And I'm a big person. I'm understanding what my peace looks like. And you're going to have to respect it. I'm going to get it the way I get it. And if you don't like it, that's on you. It has nothing to do with me. It's my peace. And peace is something that I do not take for granted. So I like to make sure even the people that I come in contact with, whether my customers or if it's my kids or my husband or family and friends, like My peace is more important than anybody else's needs, because if I am not at peace, I cannot help you. And I'm pretty sure God put me here to help people understand how to eat better and live healthier, happier lives. And I can't do that if I'm running on empty. So
Ooh, you can't do that if you're running on empty. I love that. And that's
child.
even leading into like my next question to everyone. And we'll start off with Reza. Like, how do you maintain your work-life balance? Like, we have a lot of individuals who might be watching this, whether you're physically in a webinar, or you're watching online through Facebook or YouTube, that just have an issue with maintaining work-life balance, especially now, right? Like, we're dealing with working from the house. Like, we can't go nowhere. Like, it's not like you can take a drive to your office and, you know, spend 8 hours over there and then come home and kind of either turn it off or whatever. You might be, you know, we deal with a lot of entrepreneurs within the organization, like graphic designers and creatives, you know, who literally their home is their space, right? And now a lot of individuals who were once able to go into the office, now their home is their space. So let's talk a little bit about that. Like, how do we maintain that work-life balance when it comes to relationships, when it comes to family? Like, I'm here for the D&D days. But come on, Raza, tell us a little bit about how you maintain your work-life balance.
For sure. I mean, even pandemic was a little bit more stressful for me because changing the job is one of the stressful thing happening, you know, during someone's life. I had an interview in February and I got an offer in March. So no COVID. COVID was, well, it was not in US. So I started my job from home. So that was very challenging. So I started April 1st. So literally like virtually working from home. And, you know, and my position is like application engineer. I have to be in contact. I have to emotionally, you know, talk emotionally and technically talk to customers, you know, face to face, and, you know, a lot of things, you know, using your soft skills and stuff. But now it's like even learning and getting on board was a challenge.
Mm-hmm.
So it was really challenging, but you know, thankful to my really good colleagues and my, you know, managers. I mean, they were like working with me. They tried to be, you know, patience. I think that was definitely paid off. And you know, one thing is, you know, the balancing thing and keeping it sane is patience. But how you, you know, people say now, oh, okay, you have to be patient, but I think it's really hard to like just be patient. You have to create something that provide that patience for you, and that one thing I think is discipline. So you create the discipline, and you know that you plan and you manage your day and you're managing yourself. Is keep your patience and keep your mind out of the stressful stuff. Keep you focused on your discipline. And I think discipline is sexy. It's like you have your confidence on, you know.
Yeah.
And keeping that on, keep it on your foot, you know. It's just a mind game to me. Anything, you know, all of those are like keep yourself busy, and all of these like bring you that patience in the stuff that you need to be patient about, you know. But if you want to just mix up everything, just running around and you know, lose yourself, yeah, I mean, you're gonna lose your sanity for sure.
Mm-hmm. Armond, work-life balance. The king of waking up at 5 a.m. And come on, let's talk about it.
How many naps after 5 a.m.?
It's important. I think that it's an area for growth for me because, like I said, I know go. You know what I mean? I love to go and push the limits of, you know, how hard I can go. But I understand that that's not always the best. That's not always the best formula for maximum productivity. I also would say that everyone needs to, I guess, find out like where their limit is, right? You know, if you need to take 2-3 days of D&D, then take 2-3 days, right? And at the same time, you know, if I don't choose to take any, I don't think that, you know, I should be shunned for one to work hard and one to be on the go. And I don't think anybody who is taking 3 days of D&D should be shunned for, or called lazy, or because it's all about finding your median and finding your happiest. So I think it's a case by case basis. And I think we got to be very careful, especially in the entrepreneurial space, when we talk about hard work and about being consistent and all these different things. We have to be very careful that doesn't shy people who maybe like, Amber, who wants to, pace herself and not overdo it, right? She understands, she's identified that's unhealthy for her. It can also be unhealthy for her to hear advice from maybe somebody like me who doesn't give that heads up of like, hey, if you need to take a break, take a break. Because my advice, I might not talk about taking a break. So I think that is something we have to, as we grow in our careers and as we build ourselves, as we continue to add more to our lives and more people are dependent on us, it's very important that we gauge for ourselves where our meter is, right? Because that meter can be the edge, right? Because we understand, mental health, right? Suicide is at an all-time high because people feel so much pressure on them. They feel so much pressure. Others thrive for pressure. Put the pressure on me. I want the pressure, right? Depend on me, right? But it's important to understand those differences because I think it could be very dangerous if we don't.
That's good. I think that's so key. Does anybody else want to weigh in on that work-life balance? Okay. So I think that most definitely is key. It's just like that mental, and especially dealing with the winter blues, right? Like we know
Lord
it exists.
Jesus.
Yeah, like we know like seasonal depression exists, like those winter blues really exist. And especially being here in the Midwest, like we don't get a lot of sunshine and all of that. Like I'm grateful for what we getting right now because this just seems totally different. So
Yeah.
I just want to say that, but knowing there, like how do you find peace of mind in keeping your emotions in check? Knowing that all of that, like how do you gauge yourselves in order to keep your mind and your emotions in check? I know that for me, being in the space that I'm in, like, yes, I work full time. Yes, I am an entrepreneur as well. So and being in that creative space, like I am a queen of a good playlist. So I will throw on a good playlist. I will have my accountability circle where they know, like, if I literally, prime example, I work with Armond, and Armond can know when I have an off day, right? So I may come into the gym and he'll be like, do I need to throw on some church music or something? You want me to throw some church music? And like because of the simple fact that, music drives me. It always has ever since I was a kid. And that's just how it's been. So let's talk a little bit about our peace of mind and how you keep your peace of mind and how you keep your emotions in check.
For me, I think it's something like we talk about discipline and dedication. Like for me, it's starting my day the same way. Like what my morning routine is, starting with myself and my peace. So when I go throughout the day, it has less chance to be, attacked or changed because I already have my foundation. So I start with like prayer, meditation. I do some type of movement. I journal and really just check in with myself. And I also recently did the trauma-informed teacher training with Adria Moses, and just being able to recognize different triggers, like if your body is tensing up, if you have sweats, like, and then mentally backstepping, okay, so this happened when this happened. Why did I feel this way? What is the root of that? And then really unpacking that. So for me, it's just that consistency with that morning routine, and then being aware of when something does put me off my game, how do I assess it and get back into my space and into my peace.
Love it.
Fire.
Hugh?
Oh, that's fire. First off, I'm going to tell y'all, my first truth is your girl loves therapy. Honey.
Listen,
your girl,
I'm here for it.
I have a standing appointment every Tuesday at 6:00. Don't call me on Tuesday because I'm with my therapist and I'm happy about it, okay? I love it because number one, you get to know and understand who you are. And then you also know and understand where is your limit.
Mm-hmm.
And you know when you need to pause, because I think sometimes we go through stuff in life and like the way that you make it not be so like, I don't have to make every mountain a mountain. It can literally be an anthill if you understand yourself and how you can get yourself back to that start. I'm literally like, I feel like I'm Jesus's first cousin. I'm happy all the time, right? But sometimes your girl is like, I'm emotional and I'm about to cry. I give myself my 15 minutes. I call it the 15-minute cry. I cry for everything I feel like I need to cry for the last time I got to cry. And I know that's organized, but I'll be having to organize my time because I don't have it. But literally,
I love it.
I need that moment, let me have my moment. I want everybody to go away. Let me cry. And that's another thing I try to make sure people understand. For me, I can find a way to get myself through it.
Yeah.
That's what I feel like all of us need to be able to know how to do. Like, how do I get myself through this moment? Because it's a big moment. How do I access what just happened? I'm pissed off, I'm upset, but I practice having good reactions. Every time somebody does something to you, you don't have to react. I like to be proactive instead of reactive, but that's my thing. Like, I practice having good reactions, whether it's with people and business, because we are human. We have the right to have an emotion and get mad and get upset, but like, know how to get back to your peace. What are the steps to get you back to your peace? You need to cry, girl, cry, because we got other stuff to do. I'm not about to sit here and let you be sad and depressed forever. You want these hot 15? You got this hot 15, start that timer. And if I might need another 15, have it. But you're not about to let yourself, I'm not about to let myself wallow, because surely God put you here for a purpose. Girl, do what he told you to do and keep it moving. You can't let other people project what they got going through on you. So again, that's why I keep my standing therapy to keep my hair. I'm asleep good at night, every night, in the name of Jesus. I'm asleep. Okay.
I love it. Yes. Yes. Go ahead. Amber, what was you saying?
Oh, I just said self-regulation.
Listen, you got to know. Okay. Ooh, that's good. Reza?
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree with everyone. All of those like techniques are definitely, working. Regarding the discipline, I just want to mention something. Maybe it helps, change the mood and stuff. I have a different definition between discipline and routine. So disciplinized life is like having some certain goals to meet, but the way that you reach to these goals is different. So you have to spice it up your life and make it exciting by, changing the routines, but keep the disciplines on. For example, I mean, you don't want to go to the gym every time and do just arms. So when you're doing different body, muscle, working on different body muscles, it's exciting, it's just kind of motivate you. Different day is different, So yeah, I think that's really making your day interesting. And this is the art of living, that it's really art, by therapy, by, changing, the moods, the like rooms that you're sitting in. So these changes is a must. I mean, you have to change these things to, spice it up a little bit, but keeping the discipline going. Okay, I have to do this, but, skipping the disciplines by rewarding yourself is sometimes good too, because life is not black and white. It's always gray. When you need to rest. When you need to, keep yourself on board, just, pump it up. But I think discipline and routines, I'm not agreeing with routine. I'm more to discipline and having some goals and plans. But the way that you are, achieving those, it can be different day by day. And that's the way that you keep the day positive and, exciting for yourself.
Good. All right, Armond. So, we're talking about discipline and routine, and but we're also talking about like how to find our peace of mind and keeping our emotions in check, especially dealing with the winter blues that try to come on in. So as we close out today, close us out. Like, tell us a little bit about how you find peace in keeping your emotions in check.
Yeah, I think the simple thought that I've always had, which I realize may not be the best thought, is always think everything as business, right? I think everything is business, nothing's personal. Godfather, right? Everything's business, nothing's personal. So, my whole interaction is about just focusing on business. And I'm learning now, being 31, that sometimes emotions are good, you know what I mean? And they're healthy. And I was just talking in the chat about how I was programmed at a young age not to cry. And in that, before we exit this call, I always like to give resources, right? Something that was like game changing to me, right? So a resource to me was one of my favorite books, The Miracle Morning. And his book was called The Miracle Morning. And it said the not so obvious secret guaranteed to change your life before 8 a.m. And the theory of the miracle morning is however the first 10% of your day is, which is i.e. your morning, that's going to make the rest of your day good. If that day is good, it starts off the rest of your week. So then you got a good week, all right? And if you start off with a good week, it makes it for a good month. And if you have a good month, and that month be January, that month be June, it takes you a whole year. If you can do that day by day, morning by morning, all of a sudden you put a whole year together. We've had an amazing, fantastic, and a positive morning. The other piece is, like the 90-10%, the 10% 90 rule, right? Of, hey, it's 10% of what happens to us, 90% of how we react. So I know that things are going to happen. I know that when I go into my business, any particular day, my stocks might just plummet, right? I know that's the real reality. I may go and, hey, 50 of my members decided to walk out the door and not renew their membership. I may go and, some of my tenants may say, look, we ain't paying rent this month. I know this is a part of the game, so I don't expect it. I'm not manifesting it, but I know this is a part of the game. I'm just happy to be able to have that problem, right? Because that means I'm in a position of luxury if I have these problems, right? And I think it's important that we understand that some of these problems that we're getting, Q, if the restaurant sales have dipped, at least you got restaurant sales, right? And we somewhere, you know what I mean?
We somewhere.
We're somewhere where a lot of people are fighting to get. So I think you start with the day of gratefulness and feeling whole and complete and knowing that no matter what happens in the day, everything is all good.
That's good. Well, I am so full, and hopefully everybody else who is watching this live stream or attending the webinar. Again, thank you so much for connecting with AIGA Detroit here today for the Winter Wellness Panel. My name is T. Marie, and we will be signing out. Again, you can follow all of these individuals on their social. So we're going to go around and everybody's going to say their social and how people can stay connected. So going ahead, Amber.
I actually just dropped it in the chat, but you can connect with me on social at Social in the City, and that's the letter N and not the word. And thank you for having me.
Reza?
So I'm on Facebook and Instagram as well. My Instagram, you can search it by my name. I'm Reza Sedighi, but my ID is REZA LEVI 85. So you can follow me on that.
Okay. Q?
It is at Cooking with Q, and that's at Cooking spelled right with QUE on anything social: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube.
All right, and Armond.
Yep, Armond Rashad on everything. ArmondRashad.com. Armond Rashad everywhere. ARMOND RASHAD.
And you can find me, T. Marie PR, on all outlets. So again, thank you so much for joining us. And we look forward to having you again for our Winter Wellness series. Again, if you're watching through Facebook, thanks for staying connected with AIGA Detroit. And we're out. Have an awesome day.
Peace, guys. Thank you.
Bye, family.
Stay safe.